what writers do is they're catalysts, you know, and they get people talking. I like Sinatra's attitude. You know, everybody's so worried about smoking and drinking, and it just seems silly because, you know, who was the guy, Yule Gibbons, who was like a health food guy who was like picking wild berries in the forest, and he like dropped dead on the Tonight Show from a heart attack, you know. Our age is all based on genetic programming. I mean, my mother's gonna be 89, and she like, you know, drank half of a bottle of bourbon a day and smoked 3 packs of cigarettes until fairly recently. So I think it's all, you know, I mean, I believe in health, but I think when it's your time, it's your time. Beauty is often stereotyped, and people miss out on, you know, maybe the greater beauty that's more unconventional. The French call it jolie lad, I think, ugly beauty. The system is really unfair to men. I have, you know, a kid that, well, now he's a man, you know, he's grown up, but that I would have liked to have spent a lot more time with, but except for the inequality of the way the law deals with divorce and children. It's really biased against men. The property thing is ridiculous. I mean, I lost half of everything that I worked for my whole life at one point, you know. I think that the legal thing is actually really an obstacle to domestic tranquility, and that it should be reformed. But that's not going to happen for a while. Single and married are so fundamental that you're either kind of one or the other, you know. And sometimes people get married, but really they're single people, you know. And I've always been, I think, inclined toward revolution, but it's like, it's a difficult commitment because I think you have to, you know, we all have millions of little choices in our life, so it's a matter, it's something that you kind of micromanage, I think, is to put yourself on the right side of situations. The change that we need is so fundamental, and I don't think it can be achieved with the United States the way it is. The greatest thing that happened, you know, in the last 50 years was the Soviet Union breaking up, you know, and I think that when you look at the polarization, you know, like now around election time, you know, the stuff people are saying, they're so far, they'll never come together. There's nothing we can agree about. So I think that, you know, the people who want to live in a religious state, they will, you know, they should all move to the same, you know, South Dakota or something and have their religious state where, you know, you can't have birth control and you can't get an abortion and whatever, no pornography, whatever, and see how that works out for them. And I don't think we should have anything to do with those people. So I say let's like have a, you know, like a peaceful revolution and just say you go your way and I'll go mine, you know. I don't think America is ever going to work as one unit again. I think the differences are just too fundamental. It's funny how the right in this country, you know, thinks that they have like the interests of the founding fathers, you know, at heart. But if you actually read what Jefferson wrote, I mean, you know, he said that the Constitution should be redone every 25 years, and he said that the earth belongs to the living. But now we find ourselves, you know, in the opposite situation where you know, everybody is kind of born into the bondage of debt and mortgage, and that's I think, what we have to change. You know? We need more generalists, you know, I mean, who think that, well, yeah, I can understand how money works, you know, and really think about it, you know, because if people really started thinking, then things would change. When the war protests happened in New York, you know, they said, oh yeah, there were like 100,000 people. There was like 1 million people. There were 1 million people in the street, and that's powerful, you know, but the Giulianis and the Bloombergs, you know, they like divide them up and like have, you know, horses running around, and, you know, it was like pretty intense and confrontational. I've been reading a lot about the French Revolution, and it happened just like that, you know, and what happened in North Africa happened just like that. And I think if you get enough people who are pissed off and who kind of can see things semi-clearly, you could have a lot of change. I mean, it's so insane that, you know, we have this incredible collapse, financial collapse, and then nothing has changed in the system. You know, the financial system's exactly the same. This big executive from Goldman Sachs quits last week and writes about how, you know, they talk about their clients as the Muppets, and they have absolutely no interest in making money for their clients. The culture of greed has to be exterminated. And I mean, it wouldn't bother me to see a guillotine on Wall Street. I think, you know, these people deserve to be punished, and white-collar crime doesn't get punished.